Okay, namaste, namaste, family of light. Barbara Sharon here, and we are now on Facebook Live, and we'll be getting ready shortly to do our anchoring light transmission meditation. And for many of you on Facebook, this will probably come across your feed at some point in time. I do know there are those of you that do look for it and listen to what it has to say. I know in a lot of countries they may not have access to Zoom, but most certainly you do have access to what's being done, on our Facebook page. We do a lot of services, Sunday services. So there's a lot that is live on Facebook. The anchoring light transmission is not. You'd have to participate on Zoom to participate in that. Some of the Sunday services, like the names of God that I do, it is not on Facebook Live, but it is on Zoom. But there's so many other things that are on there. And, a couple of reasons why that's the case. We also have something called the Names of God that we do every Thursday. That's not being broadcast at the moment either because it's so powerful. And we have to be discerning as to what goes out there. And why do we have to be discerning? And that is the topic because we are in this world of duality, and as Jesus the Christ said, we're in the mixture. That's what he called it, the mixture. Okay, my mom used to say the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's one big mix, and it's really interesting because when you look at different groups or the program of separation, and where did this program come from? I would like to suggest this program did not originate within ourselves, but perhaps maybe influenced by others, as above, so below as above, um, with agendas. There's agendas. So we now not need to just think about the microscopic, but on a macroscopic perspective and saying as above, so below as above. If I got to be discerning here, then I got to be discerning here. Okay. And there's many of us that are stepping into a higher level of awareness and consciousness. And if you're not, don't worry, it's a coming. Okay. And then it's really trusting your higher self and making that connection to your higher self that knows everything, that knows everything. And that's what our practice needs to be. Our practice needs to be tapping into our higher self that has this broader awareness and connected to much vastness of information that at this point we are not yet ready to tap into, but at some point we will. That's what's exciting. At some point, everybody's going to be able, just like other beings. So hold on, let me check that out in Akashic Records. I'll be right back with you. Let's see what that says. Okay. So, and then what about everybody's telepathic and can read everybody's mind? Nobody can lie. You have to be transparent. You have to be transparent. So there's just so much really exciting things that, humanity is getting ready to experience and to unfold. And if you really look about it, I find it very, very exciting because there's so much more. It's like we are great cosmic explorers making known the unknown. So how do you maneuver through all of this stuff? Well, we have an internal um, nervous system. We have two brains, one in the head, one in the stomach. That gut feeling, that is your brain and your stomach. It's like, I felt this in my stomach. Well, that's not to be ignored. That's just as clear could be. If you get a twist or a knot in your stomach area, that is your body consciousness connected to your higher self through the chakra systems and through however that all works, communicating with you. What we now got to be aware of is no longer figuring that the only way to communicate is by words. okay, or even by gestures, but there's a full array of different communication styles. So, like one of the communication styles that I became aware of many years ago is that humans had um, a very developed olfactory, olfacts to smell and taste. But we kind of lost that. So when you see the animal kingdom sniff and they use smell or they taste. Okay, well, we had a level of that also that we have lost. And sometimes that is now activated. I know for myself, uh, I call it the cosmic tic tac. I know when spirit is a while because my mouth will like explode into like this energy. So some system that was in there is activated. So I think that what we want to do is we're like masters, ascended masters in training, right? We have to now just become aware of everything because so much of what we do is unconscious and it's a program pattern. And we have to now become aware of what is unconscious and what are we doing unconsciously and bring that forward. So what that requires is one, we need to take the time to be reflective. There's certain times more than other times when you just feel quiet and you just want to not be involved. Okay. And I just want to say to everyone, sometimes people feel, oh, well, this is happening, so I got to be there. Or everybody's getting ready to do this. So, I feel either compelled or somehow I feel I don't want to miss out. Well, I would like to suggest that however you're feeling, if your body communication body, mind, spirit, emotional, which way is coming to you is like, no, I just don't want to do anything. How's that? I don't want to do anything. You listen to that. You start practicing being 100% authentic to yourself, to yourself, and do what that is. And with kindness to others, I've learned how to say no so well for years. Okay, because I can't say yes to everything. So I've practiced in the mirror how to say no nicely and from years back, when I was running my own business, my HR business, and I would say, "Well, I appreciate you thinking of me, but no, I'm not able to give my full attention at this time." I mean, there's so many different ways to do it. The thing is that you have to discern about number one, keeping yourself in balance. That's the most important thing. And if that means I need to step back or I need to take a breath, or you know what, I'm not going to address this situation now. I'll do it at the divinely appointed time when I am centered and continue to be centered. As you start monitoring yourself to do that, and I've spoken to many people, you no longer fall as much into the trappings of drama, which is purposeful on this planet. It is purposeful to cause chaos. It is purposeful to have people that are the delusion of separation and fear and conflict. It's purposeful. So if you become aware that, wait a minute, I don't think any human innately wants to go kill each other or their families. I don't think that's an innate human factor. I know Sergi and I had a little discussion about so what's causing this? What's happening? It forces you to go beyond your little program of this world to say what else is out there. Well, we got some hints. Jesus the Christ came in and said, hey, I got some news to tell you. You see this thing you're in? That's an illusion. There's so much more going on. He said, guess what? Everybody is worthy because you hold the similitude of divine. Back in the Romans, you said, even slaves? Yeah, absolutely. Everybody is divine. Radical thinking. What are you talking about? Now, the service to self maybe said, we don't like this rhetoric. We want to keep things the way they are. And then you become aware there's something else going on. There's at least two things. And you read where Jesus the Christ, as well as many of the avatars of light, talked about this mixture is in the Gnostic Gospels. There is a couple of different things going on. When you want to be aware, Like, what's going on? And so, as Jesus the Christ said, knock and the door will be open. Knock and the door will be open. Okay. And that's how our spiritual journey starts, is by us making known the unknown, looking at things, having the time to be reflective. And as much as possible, we start now to practice not being caught up in drama, because that is the energy that pulls. And not saying it's easy, you do it like that. And sometimes, it's almost like you can be still, like this roar comes over you like this, right? It's an energy, but then again, if you breathe and know your spiritual tools, and you're wrapped with the what they call the armor of God, the armor of God. What about the 100% need to be in our center, need to trust our own intuition, need to trust um, what it is that we sense and we feel, and start to really muscle up those parts of ourselves where we no longer crystalline. We no longer question the communication that comes to us from our higher self and from those loved ones and those guides and those angels, all those family of light, what we call the Amishadai, that are here to love us, protect us, and empower us. So we got to do our job for that to happen. So, with that, family of light, I'm going to say namaste to everyone. I'm hoping that this is working okay with Zoom. Some kind of craziness just happened, but hey, we take a deep breath and we move forward with that. So, I'm going to say namaste to everybody and on Facebook Live, and we will see you next time. Baba Sharon signing off.